Dark river, black sky. Dark river, black sky. Change is coming, don't cry. My tribe is the Mohican Nation, and we were part of the New York Tribal Confederacy, and James Fenimore Cooper wrote about us being the last of the Mohicans, thinking we were all dead, but we weren't. We're still around. We ended up moving to Wisconsin, settling there in 1822, and that reservation is still there. That's the reservation I grew up in. I just got home from there, actually, and I was with my mother. I took some pictures on my phone of the river and the stream where I used to sit as a little kid and just fish and swim and sing a cappella. Just the very first influences I had were nature. I'm just trying to go off on that's all I had was writing that is based on a dream. And then I thought, well, let's not just pick it, let's percussion it, you know, so it brings a whole different thing then. It'd be a different thing. I'd be going, I had a dream last night. It'd be a polka song. So when I started writing this song, I saw birds, and I was trying to see wings that were working. So these chords came to. I had a dream last night. We were two birds in flight. We rose above the storm, yeah. We rose above the storm. It intimidated me that I was an Indian going into the land of the cowboys. I thought this is not going to work. It was the opposite. It was the best thing I've ever done, because what I came into was a diversity of musicians who were going off the heart. The best dobro player in the world, Jerry Douglas, best fiddle player in the world, Mark O'Connor, whatever. These guys were. I was sitting in with them, and I was very archaic as far as a player compared to them, but I had no fear because they didn't judge me. They didn't push me in a corner. They didn't say, oh, you're just this, or you're an Indian. To them, I was another musician. My dad got me, the greatest things he ever did for me was to get me a cheap guitar at 9, and I just never quit, you know. And I thanked him when he was dying. I had a lot of bitterness towards my father. I've since forgiven him, but I hated my dad. He was such an alcoholic, a violent man. And I always kept thinking, well, at least he gave me the guitar, got me going. Through music, I was able to come back and forgive him through music and prayer. I thought it was impossible to forgive a guy like that, but it's not. It's like opening a floodgate for me too, and my emotions are starting to come out. I'll bring the guitar up and I'll just pour it out. And as soon as the dam breaks, the waters come out, then they start to settle down again. When you are here with me, it's more than just a dream. I come apart at the seams. I come apart at the seams, yeah. When you are here with me. The rhythms of nature are very first and foremost, and they're still real important to me. You know, wings, horses, wind, all that stuff chimed back to me. Then I realized, well, what else influenced me? And I still see suffering. I still see alcoholism, still see abuse, domestic violence, and things, crime up there, still happening. It didn't change much. It sometimes, in some ways, gotten a little worse. That has its own rhythm too. It's a rhythm of pain, it's the rhythm of bleeding, it's the rhythm of death, it's the rhythm of life, it's the rhythm of struggle. There's rhythm in all things. And then I started looking up at night, and this past weekend the summer moon was one of the biggest and closest the moon's ever gonna be. As I was looking up, I started to see my place in that world that I grew up in. We rose above the storm. In a way, and this is a drone flute, It's got two sides. One is just no notes at all. It's got one note. The other side has 6 holes, and I mostly pentatonic scales, and I just balance off on there. The flutes are used for wedding ceremonies, for blessing ceremonies, cleansing ceremonies, purification rites in our world, and just good things.